los de siempre, un flow cabrón, dando vuelta en un maquinón, cristales G5 en un capsulón. Y desde que salí, todos quieren repetir, pero ando en otra, baby, ya me fui. Y ahora ando por ahí, con los de siempre, un flow cabrón, dando vuelta en un maquinón, cristales G5 en un capsulón. Y ando por ahí, con los de siempre, un flow cabrón, dando vuelta en un maquinón, cristales G5 en un capsulón. Y la baba está G5, baby, pa' dentro no se ve. Podemos bellaquear, también podemos prender. Yo te quiero esposar como si fuera un cuartel. Un Airbnb o nos vamos pa' un hotel. Donde quieras te como, pa' escaparnos tú dime cómo. Dime si somos o no somos, a ninguno perdono. Este booty se va trending, eso sin darle promo. Hasta abajo desde los 16, desde chamaquita rompiendo la ley. El día me explotado, pero es que no hay break. Lo comimos hoy, mañana replay. Hasta abajo desde los 16, desde chamaquita rompiendo la ley. El día me explotado, pero es que no hay break. Lo comimos hoy, mañana replay. Y ando por ahí, con los de siempre, un flow cabrón, dando vuelta en un maquinón, cristales 5 en un capsulón. Ando por ahí, con los de siempre, un flow cabrón, dando vuelta en un maquinón, cristales 5 en un capsulón. Me aburrí de la jipeta y saqué un maquinón, que cuando lo acelero sienten la presión. Bellaquita de profesión, puesta para el problemón. Mis diablas andan todas de misión. Ando en un Lamborghini que la alfombra dice diablo. Pa' arriba la puerta si la abro, baby. Compararme con la que sea, yo la pacto. Hijo va a ser millonario desde el pasto. De mi baby ninguna le baja. La Jordan nueva de caja. Y la cuenta nadie me la paga. Te gusta como yo, no te hagas. Hasta abajo desde los 16, desde chamaquita rompiendo la ley. Me tiran pero es que no hay break. Nos conocimos hoy, mañana replay. Hasta abajo desde los 16, desde chamaquita rompiendo la ley. Desde me explotado pero es que no hay break. Nos comimos hoy, mañana replay. La verdadera bichota, papi. Y la tóxica. Ya tú sabes. ChaRLie con MAFIA. Ey, cuidado, que venimos por ahí con un flow bien cabrón.
No me importa lo que de mí se diga, vive usted su vida, que yo vivo la mía. Que solo es una, disfruta el momento, que el tiempo se acaba y para atrás no verá. Bebiendo, fumando y jodiendo, sigo vacilando de party todos los días. Síguelo.
Desacatado. Empatillado.
Mi biblioteca. ¿Cuál es su nombre?
Sube la mano y la botella para arriba. Siempre la móvil la tenemos prendida. Vengo a mandarla hasta que se haga de día. Sigo
I knew I would find it. Hell yeah.
Solo es una, disfruta el momento, que el tiempo se acaba y para atrás no verás. Bebiendo, fumando y jodiendo, sigo vacilando de party todos los días. Y síguelo.
Pepa, haga Pepa seca, todo el mundo plena en la discoteca. Pepa, Pepa, agua para la seca, todo el mundo en la discoteca. Todo el mundo, todo el mundo. Todo el mundo en patilla en la discoteca. Hey. En la discoteca. For every one of you who don't believe me that I said that I'd be doing the exact same shit if nobody was watching, now you know. Now you know your boy ain't telling no fibs. 2000 or 0. I'm doing the same shit. Oh, alcohol y prendelo. Oh, estás al lado de control. Síguelo. Epa, agua para la seca. El mundo día en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca. Y todo el mundo pía en la discoteca. Teca en la discoteca. Pepa se gala en la discoteca. This is my new favorite song. I want to go to the gym and play this now. En la discoteca, Pepa y agua para la seca, todo el mundo es fría en la discoteca. Desgató. Farruko, Pepas, Pepa en la discoteca. Todo el mundo pa. That's my favorite shit right there. Camila Cabello. Nope. Nope. No me importa lo que dime se diga, vives tu de vida, que yo vivo la mía. Que solo es una, disfruta el momento, que el tiempo se acaba, ya para atrás no vira. What does it say then? Hold on. I want the actual lyrics though. Hold on. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo el mundo en pastilla, todo el mundo. Oh, so everybody's on pills in the club. Oh, I get it. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo el mundo en pastilla en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo el mundo en pastilla en la discoteca. Oh, I really like that. So Peppa and water. What's Peppa? Y agua para la seca. So something in water. What is it? Vodka and water when you're thirsty. The whole world is on pills in the club. Peppa. ¿Qué es Peppa? I really want a GIF that says go live or go fuck yourself, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Is there one? No, there's a bunch of go fuck yourselves. Let's see. I'll do this one. It says live, and then I'll do the go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourself. I want this one. I went with the Anchorman. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo mundo pastilla en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo mundo en pastilla en la discoteca. María. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo mundo en pastilla en la discoteca. See, I try to pronounce every fucking syllable of every word. That's why my Spanish, they know how to blend it. Todo mundo en pastilla en la discoteca. Todo el mundo. So you don't gotta say todo. Todo el mundo en pastilla en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca. Todo el mundo pastilla. Todo el mundo pastilla en la discoteca. Let's play it. What's going on? What's going on, Jorge? It's my new favorite. Fumando y hundiendo, siga vacilando, perdidos los días. Síguelo. Síguelo. La rola y Pepa. Pa y agua pa la seca. Tomo mi pastilla en la discoteca. Pepa y agua pa la seca. Tomo mi pastilla en la discoteca. How's it going, Jorge? How you doing, my friend? What's new, my guy? Bah. 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 Pepa. Quemadita nota. Aquariz. Faru. Siempre la mueve la mano arena. Siga a un lado. Oh, sale eso. Cae al cajón y préndelo. Estás en la veo de control. About to go do some painting. La seca, una pastilla en la discoteca. Yeah, yeah. What are you painting? A house? Or a picture? Tepa en la seca. Quemadita nota. Oh, you're painting a room. Sick. We're painting a room. Pepa y agua palo seca. Machulando, machucando. Viviendo y fumando y jodiendo. What's y jodiendo? Viviendo, drinking, fumando, smoking y jodiendo. Odiendo. What the fuck does that mean? What does that actually mean? I like it. Pepa y agua para la seca. Todo el mundo pastilla en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca. Todo el mundo en pastilla en la discoteca. Viviendo, fumando y jodiendo. Siga vacilando de pared todos los días. Síguelo. Síguelo. You know what you should paint? One time when I was a kid, I wanted to paint my room. So I asked my mom if I could paint my room. And she said, yeah. So I painted a picture of Spawn. You know the comic book character Spawn? I painted a picture of him on my wall. Huge. It was like the whole wall. A giant Spawn on the wall. Huge. Bigger than this painting. Bigger than the cat. Maybe the size of the cat and Greta, when you consider the cape and everything. And, yeah. They never said what I could paint. They never said what I was allowed to paint. They just said you're allowed to paint. So, I painted. It was amazing. It looked like a goddamn comic book in my room. My whole wall was a giant comic book. That's what it looked like. I still have the actual... I gotta find it. I still have the actual picture that I painted off of it. Like, I drew a picture. I painted the little picture in my book. And then I made a bigger version on the wall. And I still have the picture somewhere. I don't know where. Somewhere. Actually, you know what I should take a picture of and put in Discord? I designed a t-shirt for the city of Delta back a long time ago. so that they could raise money to build a skate park, because I used to skateboard and they didn't have a park. So I drew this design and they put it on a t-shirt, and then they sold $110,000 worth of t-shirt, and they raised enough money to build a skate park, and that municipality still has a skate park because of me. Well, not just me, but mostly me. I bet I still have it. I bet it's close too. I bet I could find it. I should take a picture of that. Somewhere. I gotta find it. It's probably in my closet. It's probably in my closet. Anyways. Well, all the money, I think the city was going to match like a portion of the money or something. So like whatever we could raise, and then the city would, the parks and rec for the city of Delta was gonna match a portion of the money or whatever. I think in total we raised like just over 100,000, and I think the whole skateboard park altogether was like 150 or 130, I think, or something like that. Anyways. It's like the only thing that I've ever done that got sold like that, you know? Let's get back to this song. No me importa lo que de me se diga, vives tú de su vida, que yo viví la mía, que solo es una, disfruta del momento, que el tiempo se acaba y pa atrás no virira. You know, I'm almost halfway there with Spanish. Almost halfway there. Yeah, see, like, that's why. I could design some sick-ass Vibe God shirts. For sure, for spring line fashion. Oh, spring line of fashion. We're going to do a fashion show. I should do the fashion show. Right? I'm going to do a fashion show. Spring 2022. Spring 22. We got a big old fashion show. Big old fashion show. No me importa lo que de mí se diga, fíjese. No me importa lo que me... Fuck. How come this language is so hard? No me importa no me importa lo que de mí se diga, vive usted su vida, que yo me vi la mía. Que solo es una, disfrutar el momento, que el tiempo se acaba y para atrás no verá. I should be a Latin singer. People would love it. Right? People would love it. No me importa lo que de mí se diga, vida usted su vida, que yo viví la mía. So it doesn't matter what you say to me. Your life is your life. I live my life. You only have one. enjoy every moment until the time runs out and behind you, you can't see? I'm not exactly sure what this means. Something like that. Something like that. No me importa lo que de mí se diga, viva usted su vida, que yo viví lo mía, que solo es una, disfrutar el momento, que el tiempo se acaba y para atrás no verá. I sound a little Portuguese there. I'm pretty sure this is not a Portuguese song. Entiendo, chocolate valiendo para todos los días. Síguelo, síguelo. Pepa y agua para la seca, como mundo vestía en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca, el mundo vestía en la discoteca. Pa, pa. Si fuera, si fuera. Si quiera, si fuera. Pepa y agua para la seca. En la discoteca. Ya, ya. Quemadita nota. Faru. Siempre mueve la otra prenda. Kilowatt. Kilowatt. How you doing, brother? How you doing, my brother? Pepa y agua para la seca. Todo el mundo vestía en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca. Todo el mundo vestía en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca. Todo el mundo pastilla en la discoteca. I'm doing well, my friend. I am doing well, my guy. No me importa lo que se diga, vida es su de vida, que yo vivo la mía. Que solo es una, disfruta el momento, que el tiempo se acaba y para atrás no vira. Yeah. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. We are chilling out, my guys. Having a good time on a Saturday morning. Northwoods Peachtree, my friend. How are you doing? How's everyone this morning? Hope you guys have a terrific start to your weekends. Do it right. Do it right. How is the Peachtree? How is Chicagoland? How is Pearson? Kilowatt, how is Ontario? How is the East Coast? How is T.O.? Jorge Skinnerd, how is Guatemala? How is Central America? Is Guatemala in Central America? No, it's South America, right? No, wait a second. Guatemala is on the top, tippity top of South America. So is that still South or is that Central? I think that's South. Guatemala's in the South. South America. South America. I'm doing well. Just really want to go golfing. It's not that cold here. It's mild. It's gotten more mild. Hot. It is not bad. It's getting warmer here. Still going to be a couple weeks till I can do any golfing. Still going to be a little while before I can do any golfing at all. I watched one of the best shows that I've watched in years. Okay, it beats all the movies, all the garbage movies that have come out lately. Beats them all, not even close. And it's a real story. It's a real story. It really happened. It's true. It's a documentary. It's called The Rescue. It's on Disney. It's a Nat Geo production. And it had me glued. I couldn't stop watching it. It is one of the most obvious miracles in our lifetime. The story of the Thai soccer team that got trapped in the cave. I remember hearing about it, but honestly, I was disappointed when I watched this documentary that I didn't hear about what actually happened. I heard a bunch of other bullshit about Musk and about, all these plans on how to get them out. And you never actually hear the real story. You hear a little bit about the Thai Navy SEALs, which play a big part. Man, they're heroes. Absolute outright heroes. But you never hear the real story about the real heroism. The two heroes, absolute, undeniable heroes that showed up from England and rescued these 13 individuals. More than that. They had to rescue a bunch of guys that got trapped in the rescue attempt. So they rescued more than 13 people. I think more like 17 people they rescued. But the story is incredible. And I don't think they could make a movie that would do that story justice. The documentary about what actually happened, the actual footage from inside the cave, the actual rescue attempts. It's better than everything I've watched. The Matrix was trash, but it was better than all those shit that I've watched recently. Far, far better. And you never heard about the story about these two guys from England who were hobbyists. They were weekend cave explorers, but happened to be the absolute top of the food chain in their field. As far as cave diving, they are at the top of the food chain. And so the Thai Navy SEALs realize that they're way out of their element because they're not cave divers. They have no experience in the caves. And so they quickly realize that they can't do it. And so they start making a list of the best cave divers in the world. And they get these two guys from England who are the best. And these two guys show up. They're IT consultants, okay? They're weekend cave divers. They're hobbyists. They do it for a hobby. They love it. But that's not what they do for a living. One guy was an IT consultant. The other guy was something else. These two blokes from England show up and they put the entire rescue of these young boys, 13 young men, on their shoulders. They take the responsibility for the whole thing. And I don't want to ruin it. I'm sure you guys heard what happened, but if you haven't watched The Rescue, I suggest that you do because it's one of the best things I've watched. Absolutely incredible story. You wouldn't believe how big of a miracle it is that they pulled one kid out. The fact that they were able to get one kid out is astonishing. The fact that they ended up getting all of them out, it's pure miracle. And the weird thing is that during the time of the rescue, there was a whole bunch of supernatural events that took place. And this is another thing that no one talked about. People were reporting hearing things, seeing lights above the mountain, seeing lights come from the cave. A very famous monk from Myanmar, Burma, was brought in to do a prayer and a bunch of, because they have a god. One of the goddesses is supposed to be responsible for the water in that cave system. They have, like an old story about how her hair, or she was the princess of a king, and then she fell in love with a stable boy, and then the king said no, forbade the relationship, and then she ran away, and then the king sent men, and then the men found the boy, they killed him, and when the princess saw that the boy had been murdered, she killed herself, and her hair became the water or something like this. Okay. So she's a very important goddess of this whole thing. So they come to do offerings and prayers to this goddess. And it's interesting that like on day 7 or something, they haven't even, look, 7 days into the rescue, they don't even know where the kids are. They don't even know if the kids are alive. They assume that they're going to be rescued. They're going to be dragging bodies out. But they're thinking that maybe the kids ended up in one of these chambers and found a place where they could hang out for a bit. Ended up being exactly what happened. The problem was that the chamber that they ended up in was chamber 8, which is almost at the very end, like at the opposite end, in the very, it's a dead end. So this cave goes in and then meets a T-junction. The T-junction comes in from the ocean, I think, or somewhere else, and then goes down all the way up into this mountain, and then it's a dead end. There's no way out that way. That's where the kids ended up. They ended up in chamber 8 at the very tippity top of this cave. They don't even know if they're going to find these kids. Okay? Not only that, but they're now dealing with a monsoon season. So this monsoon season comes early, starts pouring, downpour of just a deluge of water. The mountain, the cave system, is made out of limestone, a very porous rock. So all the water just pours into the cave from every direction, fills the cave up. These kids get trapped, right? In the middle of this, they haven't even found the kids yet. Or I think maybe they just found the kids, but they didn't know how to get to them. They had found the kids, but they didn't know how they were going to get them out. In the middle of trying to find the kids, what they had done was they originally sent teams into the cave to try to pump out water. Well, one of the teams that was in chamber 4, they ended up falling asleep. I guess they had a lunch break and they ended up having a nap. In the middle of the nap, the monsoon starts to come down. They do an evacuation of everyone in the cave. These 4 guys that are in there pumping water out fall asleep and they don't hear the evacuation. They get flooded in. So now they're trapped. The 2 English guys go into the cave. They come up in chamber 4, I think, or chamber 5 or something. They think that they found the boys, and then they realize, wait a second, who the fuck are these guys? These guys, they realize, got trapped in there pumping the water out. So now they have to dive them out one by one. So basically, they have to take their respirator, an extra respirator, give it to the guys, and then they have to carry them out of the cave, dive them out. These guys are fighting every second of it, and they're only in chamber 4 or something, so very close. It's only a couple minutes from there to the entrance. Chamber 8 is an hour and a half dive into the cave. They realize trying to dive these guys out that they're not going to be able to dive. If they reach the kids, they're not going to be able to dive them out like that, because the kids are going to panic and they're going to be fighting. And basically what they were saying, it's like having an underwater fight. So they realize that they're not going to be able to dive the kids out. So they dive the 4 guys out, they get them out. Then they go back in and they go up to chamber 8 and they come in, and it's crazy because what they said is that every time they can come up for air, what they do is they take their mask off and they start smelling, because the cave is so dense that if there was anyone living in there, you would smell them, because you would smell body odor, you would smell, defecation, you would smell all these things. So you'd be able to smell the presence of humans if they're in there. So every time they come up for air in a chamber, they take their mask off and smell around to see. Well, they come up in chamber 8 and they see a light, and it's the boys, and all 13 of them are in there in this little area where they can get, like, there's this little piece of non-submerged cave that they're standing on. 13. So they take pictures of them, they get a video, and then they tell the kids, like, we're going to come back. Like, there's so many people waiting for you. We're going to come back. Like, we're going to come back. Don't worry. We're going to come back. And the kids are saying, like, somebody tell them, like, they didn't know how to speak English. And they're like, you can see the translation. They're like, please tell them that we're hungry. Tell them that we need food. Like, we really need food. So they go back out and they tell the Navy SEALs, who are actually camping out at chamber 3. So a bunch of the Thai Navy SEALs have made a base camp inside the cave in one of the unsubmerged chambers in chamber 3. So you have to dive to it, and then you can set up camp in this chamber. They come back, they tell the Navy SEALs, we found the kids. They're all there. They're all alive. People are super ecstatic, super happy. But how the fuck are you going to get them out? How are you going to get them out? It's impossible to dive them out. It's too far. It's like an hour and a half dive. And then to do that, trying to drag a kid who's fighting you every way, impossible. So they're trying to figure out ways. During this time, this monk comes in, says a bunch of prayers, and what he says is interesting. He says, they're alive, and they're all going to come out. He's like, don't worry, they're all going to be fine. They're all going to come out. But there's going to have to be a sacrifice. So they're trying to figure ways to get them out. Now the Thai Navy SEALs they don't have the equipment for it, but they're badass. These Thai Navy SEALs are badass. And this one guy who comes back from retirement just to try to rescue these kids, he starts doing dives on his own just to bring them food. So he starts diving in, taking them rations, foil, the aluminum foil blankets, right? Emergency blankets. He starts limited amount of shit. Like, you can only take a certain, like, it's tiny, it's a cave, right? So you can only take a limited amount of shit. He starts doing dives in and out of the cave, bringing them food and supplies and stuff. On one of the trips back, the Thai Navy SEAL is trying to bring wetsuits. So he's trying to bring wetsuits, and these wetsuits are too buoyant, so they float. And the problem is that there's water pouring into the cave, so there's a current because of all the rain that's pouring down. So there's a really heavy current, and because he's got these basically floats that he's dragging with him, he doesn't make it in time, and his air runs out, and he dies. So that's the sacrifice. So this one Navy SEAL, badass guy, they pull him out of the cave. They pull his body out of the cave. So now, what are they going to do? They're still trying to figure out how the hell they're going to pull these kids out. The one English guy, one night, starts thinking about it. And he calls his friend, who is a doctor in Australia. And his friend is an anesthesiologist. And he asks his friend, do you think we can sedate the kids and dive them out? So put them under sedation, put them under, and then dive them out unconscious. And the doctor goes, no way. Refuses. No way. There's no way. The doctor, if you watch it, it's amazing, because this doctor, he's a realist, but he sounds like a pessimist. Because the entire time, he's like, this is not going to work. This is going to be a fail, complete fail. He's like, I could think of a million ways how these kids are going to die. He's like, you're going to end up pulling their bodies out of the cave. The entire time, all the way up to the point where he's administering the anesthesia or the drugs up to the point where he's dived into the cave and he's administering drugs to these kids and putting them asleep. He's saying, I'm pretty sure you're going to end up with a body on the other side of this cave. So he says no. He absolutely refuses. There's no way that can happen. He's like, it's just, there's like so many things can go wrong. They can choke on their tongue. They can choke on their saliva. The mask can start leaking. There's just like millions of things that could go wrong. The drugs, like you're administering drugs to different sized kids. You know, one kid might be 100 pounds. The other kid might be 50 pounds. Like they're all different. You know what I mean? So he says, no, there's no way. Well, now they're up against the clock because the cave is flooding. And then they go in there, and then the chamber that the kids are in, they measure the oxygen level, and it's 15%, which sustainable for life is 18 minimum. So they're really up against the clock now. And they basically decide that if they don't do nothing, these kids are going to die. But if they try, maybe they can save one kid. And they all agree that even if you could pull out one kid, if you could give one kid back to their parent, then that would make it worth it. So he calls his doctor buddy again, and he says, you have to really strongly consider that this is our only option. And the doctor says, okay, I will consider it. So they start to think about it. He starts to think about types of drugs that he can administer together to kind of lessen the danger. So what he administers ketamine, which is like a really popular anesthetic, right? Puts you under. But what he also administers is a drug that reduces saliva. So so he comes up with this plan. And they really start to consider this as their only option. They finally get the okay from the government. The government allows them to put together a team of the best divers from around the world, like a dozen of the absolute pinnacle, cream of the crop cave divers from around the world. And then they get like 200 Navy SEALs. Also, I forget to say this, also, American Navy SEALs are there, giving just procedurally, tactically, just like, you know. So American Navy SEALs are at the cave too. So they put this whole plan together. They get like 200 Navy SEALs, a team of like 12 of the best cave divers in the world, the anesthesiologist. And they come up with this plan to sedate the kids and dive them out. So they swim into this chamber. They dive up to this chamber, and they get the first boy. And they put a wetsuit on him, a respirator, everything, the whole deal. And then they jab him. And he's out. And they tie the kid's hands behind his back. And then pushed the head of the kid underwater. And the guy was saying how he'll never forget what that felt like, to see this lifeless body of a child and having to push the kid's head underwater. It's like I couldn't imagine what that's like. And then like you don't know if it's gonna work, so you don't know what you're gonna pull out on the other end. The kid might be drowned by the time you get to the next chamber. So he starts to dive the kid out. They get to the next chamber. He looks on him. The kid's still breathing. Okay, keep going. They get to chamber 4 where these Navy SEALs have stationed a base camp. They start checking on the kid. Okay, he's okay. They get him all the way out. The first kid gets out. The second kid gets out. They start pulling these kids out. In the middle, and remember, these are divers, not doctors. So the anesthesiologist has to teach the divers how to administer anesthetic, because you don't know how much is going to keep them down. So depending on their body size, depending on the person, in the middle of the dive, in a cave, pitch black, can't see anything, you're crawling through this cave, trying to keep a hand on the lifeline while you keep another hand on your kid, okay? All of a sudden, the diver starts feeling the kid twitching, moving around. He's coming back up. He's coming back to consciousness, regaining consciousness. So has to stop. The diver has to stop. In the middle of pitch black, can't see nothing, has to take out a syringe and a vial, get the shot ready, and then administer another shot of ketamine into the thigh to put the kid down again. Puts the kid down again, gets the kid out, pulls him out of the cave. All 13, 12 kids and the coach all come out, all alive. They rescued everyone. And you just can't believe that they did it. Like, you just honestly, you watch it and you're just like, there had to have been something looking after those kids. There's just no other way to explain how they survived. That there had to have been like either that goddess or some sort of angel or something was looking over those kids. They were in there for almost 20 days. The coach of the football team, he didn't eat anything. He gave all the food to the kids. All the rations that they could, the little amount of rations that they could get in there, MREs, he gave all the food to the kids, never ate a bite. A week after the rescue, a week after they pull the kid out, the last kid out, the cave system floods. The entire cave floods, completely submerged. A week after that, a nearby town floods. And the cave isn't accessible for 8 months. So had they not have acted when they did, that was their absolute last shot. While they're getting ready to pull off this rescue attempt, the monsoon starts up again, and they realize that they've got a window, and if they don't use up that window, that might be their last chance. And it turned out that was their absolute last opportunity to go in there. It's like it's beyond fucking incredible that they were able to pull this off. It's basically like, this is basically it. You've got 13 kids trapped on the moon. How are you going to get them back? It's not much different. We've got 13 kids trapped on the moon. How do we rescue them? That's basically what you're dealing with. And somehow they are able to get every single one of them back. And then you think about the anesthesia. Like, the fact that they were able to put kids under anesthetic, put them unconscious, and then submerge them underwater and dive them out, and they got every single one out. None of them even had any injuries. It's absolutely a fucking miracle. And these guys that were involved, the Thai Navy SEALs, but especially these two Australian blokes and the two English blokes and the one Australian doctor, and then the other team of divers that they had. Absolute outright fucking heroes. Like, undeniable heroes. They were received by the king. Prince Harry gave them a medal of honor or whatever it was. Like, they recognized the Thai Navy SEAL who lost his life, like a presidential recognition of valor, whatever they did there. I mean, just, it's a superhero movie, but it's real. All this Marvel bullshit, that's all garbage. These are real superheroes. And they pulled off the impossible. Absolutely impossible what they did. And they pulled it off. Just fucking outright superheroes, these guys. Outright superheroes. One of the best shows I've watched in a long time. Long time. Incredible.
And this is what I thought. Because I remember hearing about this story, but barely anything. And you know what pisses me off? That the thing that I heard the most out of this story was Elon Musk. How Elon Musk was going to rescue these kids with a fucking... by digging a tunnel or whatever. You never hear about the heroism that occurred. I never heard about these two English guys. And the funny thing was that the Thai Navy SEALs, like the Thai Navy SEALs are badass. As far as like water warfare is concerned, they can do it all. But with cave diving, it's such a specific group of skills that are required. It's such a specific skill set, and the equipment is actually not available. So like the thing that was crazy was that the English guys had equipment that they built themselves. So like their rebreathers, which is the tank that helps them, breathe underwater. The rebreather is custom built. They're homemade because they build stuff for specific application. Whereas like the divers, they buy stuff from diving companies that are meant for general application. It's a very specific set of skills and requirements that are necessary for cave diving. And these Thai Navy SEALs, who are fucking badass, they couldn't figure out how these two middle-aged Englishmen were able to do what they did in these caves. It's incredible. They just couldn't figure it out. And then the thing that was really funny was like they couldn't understand how this was a hobby. So like the Thai Navy SEALs were willing to get into that cave because people's lives were on the line. But they couldn't figure out why these two English guys just would choose to go in there. Like they enjoyed it. It was their passion. And the English guys were trying to explain it. How that's when they're most at peace. It's like their special time to themselves where no one gets to tell them what to do. It's an individual effort, completely foreign environment where you're the sense of exploration. It's a different type of human. Yeah, that's what they were saying. In the UK, they have all these different cave systems. But these guys were worldwide, international. So like the main English guy, had been involved in like many rescues of cave divers in the past. So he had been flown out to Mexico to dive this cave where his best friend had passed away. His best friend had an incident in this cave in Mexico. And basically he was sent there to retrieve the body. So he has experience diving caves and pulling people out. But, oh my God, it's so intense. It's so intense. And I would never step foot in a cave. God, no way. I would never. There's nothing in a cave that interests me. Not even a little bit. I don't care if there's diamonds in there. I don't care if there's gold bars and rubies. I don't give a shit. Keep it. I will never go into a cave. I don't even a small cave. Nope. Nope. Yeah, the Chilean miner cave was crazy too. That was a bit different because they could stay in there. It was just a matter of giving them supplies to keep them alive. In the Thai cave, it's a battle against the clock because you've got a chamber or a system that's actively flooding. They were measuring the water as the monsoons pour down. And the water is rising like a centimeter every hour or something crazy. Okay? Not only that, but now the oxygen is gone. So it's a race. It's a race to save these kids' lives. Because I think the Chileans were trapped in there for like 40 some odd days, 43 days. You know what's the funniest story about the Chilean caves? There was one guy that was trapped inside the caves, and he had a wife. But he also had a mistress. And during the time that he's trapped, the mistress obviously is concerned. She goes to the cave area, you know, where everyone is there, and she's like obviously stressed out and, you know, like worried about her lover or whatever. And they're like, who are you here for? And she's like, oh, this guy. Well, the wife is there, and she's like, what do you mean you're here for that guy? Who the fuck are you? The whole relationship, the affair comes out while he's trapped, what, 2,000 feet underground? So while he's trapped, might die, his wife and his mistress have found each other out on up top. When he gets out of the cave, the wife, I think, slaps him and divorces him. So he gets out of the cave, rescued, life saved, immediately divorced. Like immediately immediately. It was on like I think they caught it on the news as like the people were being rescued and coming out of because what they did was they sent a cylinder down, right? They pulled each guy out individually with this like submarine thing. It was like a tunnel. This is where the Elon Musk part comes in. So Elon Musk was developing this machine that was basically like a subway. It was like a tunnel with a coffin, and you could put one person in the coffin and pull them out, right? So they were developing this thing. Anyways, he gets pulled out right into a divorce because the wife has figured it all out. Oh. That was the funniest story to come out of the Chilean one. Really funny. But yeah, if you guys are looking for something to watch, go watch that. It's called The Rescue. Whew. So intense, so emotional. Oh my God. There's a part, it's been like a week. They don't even know where these kids are at. They don't know if they're alive. And you see the moms, all the mothers of these children. And they're at the cave entrance where the bikes of the kids have been tied up. So the kids rode their bikes to the cave. All their bikes are at the entrance tied up. And you hear these mothers screaming into the cave, please come back. Like, we're here. Like, you know, it's your birthday. We bought you a special cake. Please come back. It's heartbreaking. It's fucking heartbreaking. And what an incredible, just what a story. What a story.
El momento que el tiempo acaba y para atrás no verás. Bebiendo, fumando y durmiendo, siga vacilando de pared todos los días. Síguelo. Oh, oh, oh. Síguelo. Haga la paseca, mundo astilla en la discoteca. Pepa y agua para la seca, todo el mundo pastilla en la discoteca. Pa, pa.
Does anybody remember what day I got the ban on? What day am I allowed to come back? Pepa y agua pa la seca, todo mundo pastilla en la discoteca. Pepa y la seca. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, that makes sense. Pepa y agua pa la seca. Día todo. Pepa y agua pa la seca. Todo mundo día. Peca y la seca. Fa. What? This morning I was looking at those WWF pictures. It's pretty funny. Yeah, all the WWF stuff was pretty awesome. Man, they got some hotties over the WWF, eh? Jesus. Ruffling feathers in the prepping channels. Sick. Those preppers are extra, hey? Those preppers are extra. You know, I wish I could find. I know I have them saved on a micro SD card, but what would be the quickest way I could show you? My best friend's stag. My best friend's stag. This was a couple years ago. We went for a weekend to this place called Kelowna. Pretty much a party town. It's a lake town, party town. And we spent a few days out there. And the theme for the stag was WWF. And I've never laughed so hard in my life, but I wonder what's the easiest way I could show you guys some of this stuff. What's the easiest way that I can show you guys? See, I had it on my Instagram, but then I took it off. He lost to Eddie Guerrero. What am I doing here? What did I don't know if I think I took all of that shit off, honestly. Let's see. We can look at that after. IGTV. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this was part of so this is going to be fun. So Bret the Hitman Hart is my best friend, okay? And these are all our buddies. There's like 20 of us up there. We roll deep. We roll deep. Anyways, his favorite is Bret the Hitman Hart. So yeah. So that was the start of the events. What's going on, Larry? Okay, that quickly led into and then you'll see here we needed an opponent. So another good friend of mine, he's from Atlanta. Actually, it's his brother, El Nacho. I can't remember what we called him. What was his wrestling name? El Nacho? I think it's El Nacho. Anyways, his brother is the one who plays in the NFL. I think I've told you stories about them. Anyways. And like right next, like on my right side to the right is a restaurant, which has got an open balcony. So there's all these people, like, I don't know, 60 people watching.
And you're not coming here and win the WWF Championship. I don't think that's gonna happen. Not on my terms. I'm from where? Decatur. Nobody cares. Decatur, Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, and I want some fucking red Alizé, okay?
Okay, so this was like a recurring joke over the weekend, was because we went to like all these craft breweries, right? All these beer places. Kelowna is a very like kind of it's like a white person town, okay? It's got all these craft brewery beer things, okay? And at every one of these places that we went, I don't drink beer. At every one of these places that we went to, the waitress would come over and ask me what I'd want, and I would say, I want Red Alizé and 7-Up. And no one knew what the fuck Red Alizé was. So it became like a joke over the weekend.
You want?
You know, I'm looking up at the sky, at the stars, and the moon, and the sun. And I'm thinking, there's no way that you're gonna beat me tonight. I'm gonna win.
You want to do this in front of all these fans here in Kelowna, BC? Put this belt on the line.
I would love to have that
Ray.
belt. This is my belt.
Ray.
Nobody's gonna tell me that I don't deserve the belt. I deserve a shot at any type of title that you have or you have acquired, because I am Ray the Sancho Paquito. And nobody is gonna tell me otherwise. So we need to set this right now. Regardless of the situation, regardless of our life, we need to put this on the line, and you're gonna lose. Because this belt is mine, and I have been waiting for it. Woo! He is very confident tonight, folks. Let's see what the champion has to say.
No, we really are 34 and 35. You can believe it. You came from the WCW.
That's the best part of the whole video. At the end, he goes, "We are 34 and 35, if you can believe it." I mean, this group that went up there were fucking savages. I mean, just like a solid dozen and a half of just absolute animals. We fucking destroyed their city. We destroyed it. I mean, we laid waste to this fucking town, this sleepy little town. It's not even a sleepy town. It's a party town, lake town. But we destroyed this fucking place in 3 days. We completely destroyed it. We got kicked out of so many places. There's actually a video where I spark up a blunt in this restaurant and they boot us out. They might be in here, actually. Maybe it's not.
Here I am today, forcing a whole nation. Which wrestler are you? Whispers? Sorry. I hear talks of Capistrano over here. He's got Roman Reigns wrestling tattoos. Here we are. He wants to get the chest lock. He's coming to square circle and face the Hart Foundation. We're here, we're down by 4 points. Brian Boyle thinks he has the mystery questions here to take over the Hart Foundation, but I have
And the entire time we had two teams, and all the questions, it was all like trivia, right? But it was all wrestling trivia. And like these guys, like he's a big my friend, this guy is a big wrestling fan, but his buddies, Al Nacho and then Wendell, all these guys, they're like absolute fucking WWF historians. So all the trivia was WWF. I remember watching Stone Cold Steve Austin and like Yokozuna, you know, and you know, Ultimate Warrior, right? But I really don't know. I don't know. These guys knew everything. Like there were questions that were so ridiculous, and they knew the answers. They knew the answers.
I got the British Bulldog here in front of all these fans.
Right here! Right here!
Woo! I'm gonna tell you something, brother.
Just like-
I'm gonna tell you something, brother. We're gonna answer these questions, and we're gonna win this game. So dial one up here, folks. Dial one up.
Ryan, just up. Harder. Harder, let's go. Listen, Foundation! You think you can hit me in the chest like it doesn't mean anything? Well, listen. Well, I'm putting on the ball situation. Woo!
Let me tell you something here.
There's more. I just didn't upload them. Yeah, there were like questions about like who are the members to like this group back in like fucking 89, like, or what was the original name for this group before they named them, like all these crazy ass fucking questions, man. There was more videos than that, like a lot more, but I don't think I uploaded them to Instagram. This guy, where do you see it? This guy right here that's carrying his bag, he's a professional golfer. His name's Dan Endicott. He's played in the US Open. He plays a bunch of tour golf. But this is a round from last summer. I just fucking hammered that one with a... Well, that's driver. Smashed it.
This is the perfect pill to help you release
I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what the fuck that. I haven't watched all this shit in a long time. This is my home course. This is my club that I'm playing. This is from beginning of last year. Oh, actually, I can show you something cool. This was just me scrambling. I just pulled all the times that I had to scramble. This is the first round of golf that I filmed. This is the one where I only filmed 12 holes. I'll show you the rest of it. It's actually pretty cool. But this was just me scrambling. This is the 16th hole, par 3. Tough hole. The Blues play 205 yards. The green is massive, but there's a pond that guards the front of it. It's a bit of a nightmare. I fuck up a lot of rounds on that 16th hole. I'll have great cards and then, you know, just blow them up. This shot, so this, hold on. This is a green. This is the 17th hole. So this is right after the last hole. This 17th hole is 320 yards to the green. And I drive, I mean, you can see the green starts here, and I'm about maybe 10 yards behind it. I drive this green all the time, like all the time. Even in the winter, I drive this green because it's downwind, slightly downwind, crosswind. But I hammered this ball so far off center. If you look at where I am, I'm aiming straight down that flag, and I'm off past the cart path. Actually, if you look right in this area, right here, the tee box from the Blues, from the tips, for the 18th hole is right next to where my cursor is. Like just off to the right of my cursor, the tee box is right there. Anyway, this shot has to go up and over these trees, and well, you can see it drop, sort of, if you look at it. It's going to drop right here. And this was for birdie. This was a birdie that I didn't expect to make. Just from where I was on the course, like where I was for my second shot. So that's a dirty birdie. It was a dirty bird.
Have I ever seen one?
It really was a dirty bird.
You're not supposed to make birds from over there.
I think this is the full round. So basically, I made a short, super edited video to show all the shots, and then I have the actual full video somewhere. And actually, you can why I wanted to show you the full one is you'll see the coyotes. Actually, I know where it is. Why bother showing you this edited version of it? Let's see what else is in here. Would
you call it the signature hole of the golf course?
Oh, okay. So these two guys, this is Frank, good buddy of mine. He's how would you say? You would learn a lot about him if you saw his tattoos. Like, he's covered, sleeves full. You would know exactly who he is if you saw his tattoos. If you read a couple of his tattoos, you know exactly who he is. And this is Ray. He's a retired firefighter. I play a lot of rounds with these two guys. They're good blokes. Good guys.
If we're going to pick one for each of the kinds, the long par 3 is the signature par 3 for here.
Okay, 16, yeah.
18, because it's supposed to be so long, par 5 is the signature par 5.
Yeah.
And if you're going to take the signature par 4, what one would it be? Would it drivable one. Would it be 2? The drivable one. Or would it be the one we just played?
Sure, or 10.
10. 10's number 1 handicap.
Yeah. Well, this is the only one that's elevated, is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's got this brick. I always like brick. It's about 180 yards from here. It's got a massive...
This is like when hold on, microphone. This is when I first started filming rounds. And if you listen to Frank in the background, he's going, oh, you see? Like, he just films like whatever, like just talking and whatever. And then he posts that and people watch it. He's like, it's super cool. Because this is like when I first started filming my golf. I just first started doing it.
But I think it's a signature hole. You get up here, it's pretty beautiful.
This is the so this is the 6th hole, which is a par 3. The tips play on top of this, like you saw me walk up to this thing. The other, from the whites and the reds, actually down lower. But from the tips, you get to walk up to this top of this thing, and then you get the view of the whole property, which is all farmland, and then it's got a dike. It's got a dike running right through it. Yeah, pretty fun. Pretty nice view from up there. It's very tough because this wind comes down. You'll see the hole. The wind comes down the sides, and it's a left to right wind, and it's tough to deal with. He wouldn't be shocked at all. He knows me pretty well. We spend a lot of time together, and I'm just as ridiculous on the golf course, probably even more ridiculous. So he'd be like, oh, I get it. I totally get it. He's a fucking savage, that guy. He must be in his, I think he's 60 and a complete fucking animal. An animal on Tinder, an animal on Bumble, okay? He goes to the gym every day, works out like a fucking like a crazed person. Steroids, okay? All the fucking roids, all the fucking juice in the world. He's an animal. He's a fucking animal. He's one of those guys, though.
Pretty cool. A lot of land out here. Someone's rich. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Build another golf course. Could use it.
That. Just on the right side. Be enough. Oh!
I'll actually hit the green on this goddamn hole. I never do that. This green's very difficult. Because you got this hellish wind that comes in from here straight across, and it just blows shit into that bunker all the time. It's fucking very tough. Can I roll a 20-footer in for B? That's what we will see. And there's the cart girl. Cart girl.
This one cart girl is like from, I think she's like from Iran or something. She's got green eyes. Oh my God. It's fucking tough. Actually, there's a couple. And one, okay, anyways. One's super flirty. Like, one's just ridiculously like over the top flirty. And it's really tough to play when she's fucking hanging around, you know?
I'm good.
Go in. Good, Carlo.
Oh, so stress-free pars on a hole that usually gouges me. Happy about that. We'll take that on to number 7. Siete. I got 153 to the pin, or at least the back. You can see that. Starting to get a little wayward with my tee shots. It's causing trouble, but I'm gonna hit a nice firm 9-iron, see if the wind will cut it back towards the pin. That's the shot that I was looking for. That's why you got the twirl. That's where that came from. Twirl means good.
That was a birdie. That's why I pointed at the camera, I guess.
What were we just talking about? Turn the ugly into beautiful. Turn the good or the bad into good. That's a birdie. Would you call this the signature hole?
I want to show you that fucking... How do I make this bigger? Oh, there we go.
That is my show. Raise that sound for me. I can be off and cheap. I'm covered with his for me, I can be, I can sing, oh, covered with this flow, that's right, it's my show. Raise that sound for me, I can be, I can sing, oh, covered with this flow, that's right, it's my show.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in hot.
This guy's a Squid Games. This guy plays with his wife. He must be 80 and his wife must be 90, and they play together all the time. And I got paired up with these two one afternoon, and he gave me his number because he just couldn't believe. On the original video, you hear him go, "Whoa, what shot!" It's so funny. Oh, what shot! He couldn't get over it. He couldn't get over me hitting shots. It was awesome. Anyways, he gave me his card. I played with him and his wife a few times. They're amazing people. They're the only Squid Games that I actually like. Oh no, that my veteran buddy. My veteran buddy, he's Squid Games too. I forgot about that. Anyway. I 3-wood off the deck, absolutely fucking pummeled this thing. This is the first tee. This is my club, my track, my home course. And this is the first tee. I love shot tracers. I fucking love Shot Tracer, man. It's the best. It is the best. This video blew up because it was Bitcoin related. Like, I was using a Bitcoin to mark my ball. Because this was Bitcoin related, for whatever reason, this thing fucking blew up.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
Kind of crazy. Bitcoin was 33,000 at this point when I took the picture. I think it got like 3,000 views or something crazy. Like it did nutty numbers. It did some nutty numbers. You want to know how much golf I play? I got boxes of scorecards from last season. Literally hundreds and hundreds of scorecards from last year. This was a lovely morning. This was December. 9 weeks ago. Yeah. November. It was a beautiful morning. This is from a driving range / golf course called Savage Creek. Oh. Yeah, that morning was gorgeous. I was there at like 6 o'clock in the morning hitting balls because I had to teach lessons all day. Well, I had to teach lessons that morning. So I got there early, started hitting balls. It was pristine. It was a beautiful morning. What else do we got here? What else? Okay, we already seen all that shit. I know where I can find that video. Look how much fucking content I've done in a few months. Like, I've not looked at this. Like, I've not looked at this page. Look at this. Look how much fucking... That's 4 months. That's 4 months. Bro, when I do something, I dive in head first. I don't fucking pussyfoot, half-ass nothing. If I'm going to do something, I'm doing it all the way. Full send. You know? This is full send. Anyways, that's where I thought it was. Here we go. So at this point, I just realized that I forgot that I didn't film the first 6 holes.
I just thought I'd mention this as I'm walking up to my ball here. There's a family of coyotes that live on this golf course. And you never used to really see them. But now I see this guy. I don't know if you can see him from here. I see him every day. And the reason why now I see him every day is because some of our players have been feeding them. He's beautiful, but he's also dangerous. Not to me, probably not to you either. He's dangerous to somebody.
Oh, that's weird. Hold on. Doesn't seem right.
I know he looks like a puppy.
That was weird. It played it different first there.
It's because some of our... And you never used to really see them.
It's so strange. It played it completely different. I was wondering why the audio started... Anyway.
I just thought I'd mention this as I'm walking up to my ball here. There's a family of coyotes that live on this golf course. And you never used to really see them. But now I see this guy. I don't know if you can see him from here. I see him every day. And the reason why now I see him every day is because some of our players have been feeding them. He's beautiful, but he's also dangerous. Not to me, probably not to you either. He's dangerous to somebody. So, maybe just a friendly reminder. I know he looks like a puppy, but don't feed the wildlife, please, folks. Anyway, let's find my ball.
Send your clothes off to an exciting second life. Sell them on the Vinted app.
I have to watch
Download
ads?
Vinted today.
On my own videos, I gotta watch ads?
It's definitely working, like here, like, because this band's trying to pull me back here so I can feel my core engage.
Here's what we're looking at. As you can see, I was dead on aim, just went a little long, caught a bit of a flyer. coming out of that rough. And now I've got this. I don't know, you can see the severity of this thing, but there's quite a bit of a bump I'm gonna have to go up and over. So. Well, that wasn't it. Didn't put it hard enough, didn't have the right line, and I've got this 10 feet from my par.
It's more like 15 feet. That was a good save there. Don't know how I did that. At this point last season, I was driving the ball like such trash. It was horrible.
Well, that was a horrible swing with driver. But this, of course, has some...
So, in the summertime, this pond actually dries out completely. So there's no water, it's just mud. And it bakes out to the point where you think that you can walk in there. And I can't remember if it was my ball or someone I was playing with hit their ball, and there's a line of trees down the left-hand side, and it hit the tree and went right into the pond. Empty, dry pond. And it was about maybe like around here, this area, like right about there. And so I came in from here, trying to get the ball out from there. And I took a step, and it was fine. I took another step, and I sank to my knees. Almost didn't get my shoes back that day. It was fucked. So anyways, it's like quicksand. Not safe at all. Even in the middle of summer, in the dry heat. It's not, it looks like it's concrete in there. It's not. It's like quicksand.
Beautiful scenery to help keep you calm. Mother Goose.
One sec.
Duck, duck, go. Everything you need. Coming off a horrible swing with driver. Drop kicked it, hooked it. Got away with it. It's just going to be a little long into this green, but that's okay. We should be able to get on. Try to get out of here, make my 4, and get out of Dodge. I think it was 4. Well, we're on. I'm gonna have a bit of a long putt, but we're on. Gonna break a little right to left. Break, break. Well, I putt it too high for any of the brake to help me out there.
This is a shit putt to miss. Just pulled it.
It's not the one you want to blast like that for fun.
Just pulled it.
Well, that's a 5. It's a 3-putt 5. Not happy about it. I'm in the go zone, but I got this tree in front of me, and if you'll notice, the green's tucked right behind it. We got a middle pin. It's about 206 to get there. I'm gonna have to go up and around, usually from the left side of this fairway. It's just a layup. Luckily, there's a nice spot way up there by where the group ahead of us is, and I can lay up. I'm gonna try to pull one around this tree, see if I can get it nice and tucked up in there, but we ain't going for this green. Left it in a good spot. A little long in the tooth. Well, that'll be okay. We got a putt for bird. I'll take that.
Is it fucking snowing again?
Tapping probably.
I'm watching these videos, I just want to golf, and it's fucking snowing again. I mean, this was like last February, I think. So we're not too far away from actual full rounds of golf, but fuck, it's a long time. Seems like forever.
I discovered the 8 immortal kings of Samaria lived a total of 241.
Yeah, sure they did.
All right, folks. Hard part's over. We found the fairway. We cut most of the corner off. Got about 150 yards or so in. I'm going to hit an 8-iron, which is more than enough club. Some reason I end up short on this one all the time. As you can see, this hole just gets worse if you go to the right. End up in the bunker, you got another 50, 100 yards onto this thing.
Oh, Killer, were you here for the coyote?
Too much of the corner.
Was it you that kept asking about the coyotes?
So we're in a good spot here.
You missed the part about the coyote.
Let's try to make...
He comes back, though.
The most out of it. Try to tuck one up nice and close. See if we can't make a B.
I hit the worst shot of my life here. It's honestly dreadful, this one. It's a pretty bad shot. This should be fucking go time. To hit a drive to where I am right now is like... Sets you up so nice for the most... This is the hardest hole in the golf course. And then I just do that. Oh, you missed the coyote? Hold on one second. It's at the very beginning.
Just missed the bunker. Only coyotes that live on this golf.
I'll show you the coyote part and then I'll fast forward.
I just thought I'd mention this as I'm walking up to my ball here. There's a family of coyotes that live on this golf course. And you never used to really see them. But now I see this guy. I don't know if you can see him from here. I see him every day. And the reason why now I see him every day is because some of our players have been feeding them. And he's beautiful, but he's also dangerous. Not to me, probably not to you either. He's dangerous to somebody. So maybe just a friendly reminder. I know he looks like a puppy, but don't feed the wildlife, please, folks. Anyway, let's find my ball.
So that was the first appearance that the coyote made.
Try to tuck one up nice and close. See if we can't make a B.
Oh yeah, they're very aggressive. They'll snatch your baby if you let it. Coyotes will snatch your baby from your yard and drag it away and eat it. Like, They don't give a fuck. It's meat. See, already I can tell just by my feet that I'm aimed to the right, which is exactly where the shot ends up. I never left. My shoulders, I should be square to the left side of the green. And instead, I'm almost square to the right side of the green. Almost pointed at those bunkers on the right-hand side. Which, like, you don't realize until you watch it back. And you go, oh, well, it makes perfect sense why that shot went where it went. Because look where I'm aimed. The problem is because a lot of people have duck feet that go out like that. So because your front foot is angled, you think based on the outside line of your foot that you're aimed correctly, but you're actually not square. You should be aiming your hips and your shoulders because your feet, like me, my feet are kind of like that. Most people's feet are out like that. So my lead foot, if you look at it, it's pointed to the left side of the green. So I'm assuming that I'm square to the center of the green, but it's just my left foot because they're angled. It's my lead foot that is square to the left of the green or center of the green. The rest of my body is aimed right. And that's exactly where the shot ends up.
A bad spot. Just missed the bunker, but we're in a precarious position.
And it ends up in a hole. Look at this. Ends up in a. I'd rather it be in the bunker than where it is right there. You can't really see how tough this is, but it's horrible. Not a fun place to hit from. And I make pretty light work of it. But I get up and down for my par and get the hell out of there. It's the toughest hole in the golf course. Get the fuck out of there. And then, after coming out of that, where I get up and down for par on the number 1 handicap hole, I proceed to clank this drive off. This might be the worst drive I hit all last year. It might be. It's up there for sure. That thing is maybe 20 feet off the ground and just hanging out to the right, hardcore.
Well.
Well.
Have you wait too long. And yeah, this spike went off to the right there. I got away with it. We're still dry, but barely. The next shot's going to be interesting. It's going to be have to go around the branches. That boy.
So now here is I had too many options, like for having to shoot around these tree branches. I've got too many options, and because I got so many options, I never really decide on one. So I can either go under and punch it underneath. I can go over and try to fly one over top of the branches, which is kind of tough from where I am. Or I can try to cut around them, which I kind of was in between cutting around them and punching it underneath, and then I get like a hybrid shot. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell I try to cut it hard there. If you look at this ball, it starts cutting immediately, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough.
That boy.
I'm aimed way left. Like, look at where I'm aimed. I'm aimed at this bush, basically, because the branches are here, right? So I'm aimed at that bush, and I need to peel that one a good 25 yards to the right. Not an easy shot. I mean, if you hit a natural fade, it should be easy just to overdo it. But it's hard to do that on command, you know? Anyways, I half-ass pull this thing off. It starts going, but it's not all the way.
That's gonna hang out straight.
Okay.
It's not a horrible shot, but ends up in a kind of a shitty place. Because now I'm chipping at a green going away from me. Now watch who turns up after this before I hit my putt. Look who it is. So that coyote's just making its rounds around the golf course, looking for people it recognizes that will feed it. It's pretty cool though. I see these coyotes during my season. I see these coyotes every day. This guy, he got so desperate at one point that he actually tried to take an eagle out. There was an eagle that was eating like a mouse in the middle of some tall grass. And he stalks the eagle while it's sitting there eating a rabbit or something. It might have been a rabbit. And I watched this guy stalk this eagle through the tall grass and then get within about 10 feet of this thing and then lunges for it. The eagle takes off with the rabbit or whatever and still in one claw. And this coyote jumps out of the tall grass and misses the eagle by half a foot. Like just missed his leg. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that the coyote was so desperate it took a shot at the eagle. But it did. I've never had a coyote steal my ball. I've never had a coyote steal my ball.
Bank here that runs down to the hole. So I was hoping that I would get a little bit of more help from. Ball checked up a little hard, and now I got this putt.
I mean, there's a chance that I have, like, there's so many times that I have my ball go missing, and I just assume that it's a Korean, but it could have been like a hawk or a coyote or something. It's like, you wouldn't know. You would never know. I automatically just assume that it's Squid Games stealing my shit. But that's usually what it is. The one thing that I proved upon, like, more than anything last year was my putting. I mean, my putting got to a point where it was... There were a couple times where I just didn't miss. Like I can remember at least 3 or 4 times last year where everything I looked at went in. And I worked on my putting a lot last year. Chipping too, like my short game improved a lot, but my putting has become fucking... I can almost just depend on me making putts. Like I don't have to worry about being so accurate with my wedges and stuff anymore.
That feels like theft. That one feels like theft.
I feel like I stole one there. This one, I absolutely crushed this thing. I think I did. Yeah, I did.
Just up the right-hand side. putt more difficult, but we're on, we're safe. Putting for birdie.
So here, it's a 500 and change par 5. It's 12th hole. Well, for one, it's winter time, so they're only playing whites. There are no extra other tee boxes. So it's 500 and like 10 yards, maybe 505. And I hit a decent drive, but I still laid up and played the hole in 3 because I'm waiting for the group in front of me. So rather than wait for the group in front of me to clear the green so that I can go at it in 2, sometimes I'll just play it in 3 shots, and then, you know, it's good practice, because if you're going to play holes that you can't reach in 2, then you're going to have to get used to leaving yourself specific yardages. So here, I tried to lay up and give myself a 90. And yeah, I don't know. I gave myself 90 yards, but then like I overhit the shot. Like, the one thing I need to work on a lot more is my wedge game. Inside 100 yards, I should have a really good chance at birdie. And instead I have a downhill putt feeding away from me with a right to left. It's a nasty putt that I gave myself. That's where my game really needs. Like, what separates me from tour pros is this shit. Whereas, like, for one, they would never. I mean, I would never usually on a 500-yard par 5. If I hit a decent drive, I'm going at it in 2. But just because I was waiting for the group in front of me, I ended up doing it in 3. But they almost guarantee themselves birdies on par 5s, and I still have way too much. I'm just not accurate enough with my wedges to like give myself that chance every time. That's really what separates. So like, that's not where you want to be on this hole. So if anything, being short left would be perfect. But you don't want to be long right, because now you've got this like downhill slider that slides that way. It's a putt that feeds away from you. It's just a terrible. I mean, in the winter it's not so bad because these greens aren't very fast, but that's a bad miss for playing a par 5 and 3. That should be low. That should be beneath the hole and within 8 feet to give myself a real opportunity. Basically, right now I'm just trying to cozy this up to make my par, which is not optimum. Yeah, not the same. See, like, can't tell, but if you look at it, like, my feet are pointing exactly where this ball ends up. Like, I'm aimed at the right side of this green. I'm aimed at the fringe. I don't know. I'm not aiming myself properly. Look at where my feet are. Look at where I'm.
On a piece. Please, kids, do yourself a favor and the groups behind you.
The Geese Angels motorcycle gang.
Favor. Fix your ball marks. Good karma, you're around. Good karma, that is. Keep your golf course in tip-top Magoo order.
But like, I basically aimed exactly where this ball ended up, on the right side of this green. It's 150 yards, it says there. Yeah, from whites would be 150. That's not a tough shot. Not a great putt there. Oh my god, it's a fucking blizzard outside again.
Wile E. Coyote.
So, like, you know what I mean here? Like, I see this coyote everywhere when I'm golfing. It might be, like, something to do... Like, I don't know how close to dogs they are. Like, dogs are usually like this with me, where they'll hang out and they'll just follow me around all over. It might be something similar, although I don't know why that would be. I've obviously never fed this coyote. I never have food in my bag. So, like, unless he's smelling the pre-workout mix in my drink or something, or the Gatorade or whatever the fuck I got going on. I don't know why he always comes and finds me. It's the same one every time. There's a pack of these guys. But like their den is on the other side of the golf course. Like if you see where my mouse is, that's tall tree back here. That's on the 7th hole. That's where their den is. So he ventures out and he goes all the way around. Like you'll see him on the 18th and stuff, but he's constantly around me and I don't know what it is. Oh, they don't fear humans. He doesn't give a shit that I'm there. Sometimes, you know, like I'll hit a ball that goes very close to them and he'll just look at it. You know, he'll just kind of look at it and wait for me to catch up, and then he'll hang around and then he'll fuck off for a bit, come back. He's very weird.
I mean, I don't know why you're so interested in me. I'm not the one feeding you. You are beautiful, though.
He just hangs out all the
Guess
time.
he's just guarding my ball. Make sure you know who doesn't pick it up.
So you know, now you know what I mean when I'm talking about these Squid Games. I need fucking coyotes to protect my shit.
I mean, I don't know why you're so interested in me. I'm not the one feeding you. You are beautiful, though. Guess he's just guarding my ball. Make sure you know who doesn't pick it up.
Here's a good example of what I've been saying with like inside 100 yards. I've got 70. This is literally just a pitch, and I should have an easy birdie. But and it's not, the ground doesn't look saturated, so I can't even blame it on the ground being too mucky. But I absolutely just flub this shot and leave it short of the green, and it's like tour pros never do that. Never. They can hit 100 balls and would never do what I just did here. And it can't happen. This can't happen. See, it's not, I hit it pretty crisp. I just fucking flub it. It's a nice little divot. Like, you know, I'm happy with that. It just came out chunky.
Yeah, I kind of duffed that one hard.
See, I don't know if I hit it cleaner. Maybe it gets up on the front edge, but that's not a good shot. And that's a shitty shot too. So here's the problem with this shot. This whole green is elevated. So it goes uphill towards the pin. So I played this shot forward in my stance, which is a bad idea because that ball is going to hit that elevated green and check, which is exactly what it did. It checked up 10 feet short. I don't know, 8 feet maybe. What I should have done is played that ball back in my stance and punched it. And then it would have hit the ground and then popped forward a little bit, ran out. I just played the wrong shot there.
Hard. Gave myself more than I wanted again. And I blasted that about, oh, I don't know, 5 feet past the hole. Not great. Not great. Well, maybe I deserve a 5.
So like this is like a 330 yard par 4 or something. I'm in the middle of the fairway, basically chipping, you know, pitching at the hole, and I make a bogey. Like no tour pro that I have ever known would ever do that. You know, like maybe one time a season that they end up doing. That's not completely accurate. Tour pros make mistakes too, but that's middle of the fairway with a 70-yard pitch, and I make a bogey there. Fucking awful.
Maybe I deserve a 5. On to the next. All right. Little update. No. Dropped my glove on the green, the last green. I had to run back and get it. Slightly out of breath. Need to get back on. Need to get back jogging, apparently. We're on the 15th hole.
So this is the 15th hole, par 4. It's uphill, 440 yards. I don't know what it's playing from these tee boxes here. Probably less than that. This plays, I think, the 3rd hardest hole in the golf course. It's a dog leg right. The second half of this hole, once you get past this tree, is just straight uphill. So even if you bomb a drive, you still end up with like, I end up with like an 8-iron. 8-iron, 7-iron. So what you really want to do is end up over here. This Christmas tree over here is a great line. If you can be long and at that tree, then you got a nice line into this green. If you end up on the right side of this fairway, you're fucked. And you're gonna see exactly what I mean, because I do exactly what I say I don't want to do here. Yeah.
15th hole, par 4. This plays the 3rd or 4th hardest hole in the course. It's dog leg right. Half the hole is uphill. It's long. It requires a fade, which I used to be good at. Who the hell knows what's going to happen today? The idea is to go up around the corner, try to get up at a 150 marker. I take the hell of a strike to get it out there. Got a little bit of time here to catch my breath, figure out what a fade looks like. I think it's something like that. Who knows? I know to choose the right hand side of the tee box if I'm going to hit a fade. You know.
So like here's like a good tip that a lot of people don't think about. When you're teeing up on your tee box, look at the hole and figure out how you can make the hole bigger for you. So like if I were to set up on the left side of this tee box, it closes off the open side of the golf course, right? So if I set up on the right, look at the angle that I've got to that really big open space. So like it's always a good idea to take a look at the hole and then come up with a plan of which side you want to tee up on. If I tee up on the left here, I've got a really difficult shot. Whereas if I tee up on the right, I can hit a fade. I've got a lot more room to work with. So it's like something important even before you hit your shot to remind yourself to do. I fade this one. I faded all right. I faded it right into the worst part on this hole.
We're trying. We're really trying.
Look at me run to try to figure out where this thing landed. But look at this. Like I am trying to hit basically a banana slice around that tree. And I overdid it. I overcooked her. I really overcooked it.
You know, we're trying. We're really trying.
I can't see the ball, but I could just tell from the swing that that went like this.
Well,
It went basically like this.
it was
It went like this.
faded
Boom.
into danger, faded into the dead spot. Right out of this hole's.
But now, watch the next shot that I hit. The next shot that I hit here is basically a circus shot. It's basically a trick shot that I end up milking.
Horrible spot.
One of the, I mean, as far as like shots that you have to manufacture, this is by far one of the best shots I hit last year. I hit other nice shots that were like closer to the green or whatever, but as far as like circus shots, this is the greatest circus. This is one of the better ones I hit last year.
And that's where I am, and you'll see why it's so atrocious.
Dan, tell me about the decision to use grass-fed beef in your restaurant.
We want to offer, first off, something that
It depends. It's risk versus reward. You know, like sometimes you have no choice but to play the high risk shots. And sometimes you get options where you can play like a high percentage shot. Tour pros are always trying to play high percentage shots. So they're usually putting themselves in places where they have a high percentage opportunity. When you get into situations like this, what you're going to see here, you have no opportunity. It's circus shot or nothing. Figure it out.
So this is why you don't want to end up on the right side of this fairway, because you're blocked by multiple trees of all varieties, really. You've got cedar, we've got oak, we've got spruce, weeping willow. We got it all. And you miss all of it if you end up on the left side. See how open that is over there? We are dead. I see my ball. At least my ball is up because there is another golf course. I'm still out of breath. I'm still out of breath. There's another golf course, a little executive course that neighbors this one. But the ditch is dead. Right side of that ditch is dead. Luckily, my ball is up, but not in a great spot. All right, so here's what we're looking at. This is why we don't go try to find the right side of this fairway, because this is going to take some kind of circus shot to get myself out of this danger. I got about 180, I'm assuming. There's a 150 marker there, but that's straight on. And then after this, a low. I mean, I really wish I was Kyle Berkshire right now, because he has this shot in his bag. He can play stinger cut. I could barely play stingers. So this is gonna be something. If I get it anywhere near the green, this will be something.
So this is stinger cut, which is not a. I mean, like, I can hit straight stingers. I don't know how to finesse them. So this has to be a stinger cut through between those two trees, these two trees right here. So it has to go through here and then cut, because the green is over here. The flag is actually on the right-hand side. And it's like 180 yards, so I'm trying to cut a 7-iron at it. Not easy. Basically 1 in 10. If you gave me 10 balls, I could do what I did on this shot here. I still don't know how I hit it. Just talented, I guess.
All the dead branches here too. I got a 5-iron.
Oh, so there you go. So it's 180 yards, which is a 7-iron for me. Even maybe an 8-iron, if depending. This is in the winter, so it's cold. Ball's not going very far. So I've got 180 yards, and I'm using a 5-iron, I just said, which tells you how much cut. So basically, I got 180 yards, and I got to cut it 50, which is why I'm using so much extra club. And it's got to be 20 feet off the ground, stinger missile. Circus. Absolute circus.
I mean, that's a heck of a shot. Not on the green. We're just off to the right-hand side. But that's about as good as I can do.
Just listen to the strike on this ball. It's just sex. When I hit this ball, it's fucking sex. Volume up for this one.
Five iron.
Oh.
I mean, that's a heck of a shot. Not on the green. We're just off.
It's just nasty. Like, if you look at the ball flight in between these two trees, I'll try to see if I can slow it down. It's just nasty. It's a nasty, nasty shot. And this is the stuff, like, maybe you can hit drives pretty good, you know? Maybe you can do whatever else. But, like, this is the type of shit that separates, like, the real deal golfers from the weekend warriors. You know, like your weekend warrior can't do this on command. Like it just, I can barely do this. I'm surprised that I pulled this shit off in the middle of my round. Let's see if I can slow this fucking thing down. I've never actually done this. I can't believe how much it's snowing right now. Honestly, it pisses me off that I'm watching this and it's snowing like that. Fucks me off, something real fierce. But look at this, just absolute shot. Just love that. Look at where my feet are pointed. My feet are pointed left of the tree that I'm trying to get in between. That's how you know I'm about to hit a fucking gigantic banana slice on this thing. And look at the twirl. Watch the twirl. Because I'm just so impressed with myself right now. Yes. Let me hear that one more time. Oh boy. That gets me hard, man. That gets me hard.
Shot. Not on the green. We're just off to the right-hand side. But that's about as good as I can do. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty proud of that one. That's about as good as I can do from there. All right, folks, all the way from back there between those two trees, dead behind the trees behind it, had to play a little stinger fade. I ended up here. I'll take that every day and twice on Sundays. Let's try to get this up and down. That went long.
Yeah, I didn't like that chip at all. Like, especially after what I just pulled off there, I really should take more time to settle myself. When you hit a hero shot, you know, if you ever hit a hero shot and you pull it off, take a few extra moments for your next shot just to settle your nerves down, because you're still going to have all this adrenaline going through you. Probably don't even know it's there. And you see what I did on this next one. I'm trying to basically feather this thing, and I hit it long. I mean, it landed pin high. So there's a little extra juice flowing through the system right now. I should have just taken a minute to, you know, have a sip of water or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. So instead of parring out there and getting up and down for what would have been an incredible par, from basically dead, you know, you might make double bogey to a chance for par is pretty exceptional, but I fucked that up there.
Sometimes she goes, sometimes she don't go. And that time, she didn't go anywhere. We're on 16s, par 3, plays 180, about a 6 iron. We are 2 over on the back 9, slightly embarrassed. We were even through the back. A couple mistakes on the last 2 holes. And we're 2 over for the front, or sorry, we're 2 over for the back. So not bad. Again, trying to figure out this whole filming thing. As I get used to it, I'll start to produce more normal scores, hopefully. But we still have 3 holes left. Par 3, a par 4, and a par 5, which is kind of short because they're doing work to the grounds here. So hopefully a couple holes we can score on. A couple holes we can score on.
I laughed a few times watching this back, but I said there's a couple whores we can score on. A couple holes we can score on here.
And maybe get one or two the grounds here. So hopefully a couple holes we can score on. A couple holes we can score on. And maybe get one back. I can usually birdie 17, so hopefully that.
That's premonition, right? That's like speaking it's like speaking something into reality. I said I usually birdie 17, so you know, you can look forward to that. And then what do I do after this? Birdie 17.
Get one on the dance floor. Try to make a putt. Try to make 2 putts. Move on. 17, we'll try to get a bird. It's reachable. Wish me luck. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better day. There's not a gust of wind out there. Pretty mild for February.
When I actually think about it, I should have more eagles. Last year, I had 3 eagles. I think that I remember anyways. 2 of them were on par 5s. And 1 of them was on a par 4. But when I think about like how long I am, I really should have more opportunities for eagle. Especially on the par 5s that I can reach. And like the amount of par 4s that I can drive, I should have way more opportunities for eagle. There's something going on there. Like I should have like 1 eagle every 3 rounds or something. Maybe even that's a little bit much. But like 1 a month, you would expect. I would expect that I get 1 eagle a month. And if I only had 3 all last season, that's not 1 a month. Something's going on. You can hear right behind this green, there's townhomes, and there's people that are always like in there watching a gallery. And you can hear this person go, hey, or yay, or say something when I hit my ball. Actually, the house that's right behind this green is the house that they have a Canadian flag that's like an indigenous Canadian flag. So it's got all these like what would you say, like totem pole kind of style, you know, Native American carving stuff, markings all over it, designs. Such a cool Canadian flag. I took a picture of it one time.
Well, it was a good strike. A little long. Caught it a little pure. Flushed it. But we're on the green, maybe on the collar. I mean, I don't see a ball on the green. It's the biggest green on the golf course. And my ball ain't on it. Let's hope it's nearby. It wasn't a horrible shot. It's just It's just a little long.
I'm pretty sure that I said I was using a 6-iron. And it's 180 yards. That's a lot of club for 180 yards. I know it's February. It's probably 4 degrees out right now, so the ball ain't going very far. Also, I'm probably not using a TPX or like a TP5X. I'm probably using a softer ball, so they're not going to go as far. But 6-iron to 180 yards is a lot of club.
This whole green kind of falling away from me, so I just want to get it about maybe.
This is a buttery little chip. This is my bread and butter right here. This is why I beat everyone. It's shit like this. It had nothing to do with how long I am, how accurate I am with my wedges, a good iron player, good putter. No. This is my bread and butter. It's because I can do this and other people can't. This is what separates us.
10 feet on, it should dribble down.
The fact that I can finesse shots like that.
I can't ask for better than that.
And now I don't even need my putter. I just tap it in with my wedge. That's bread and butter for me right there.
Send your clothes off to an exciting second life. Sell them on the Vinted app. Download Vinted today.
Oh, I'll get right on that. Fuck out of here.
Guess how much that coffee is right now?
Look.
A clue. Where's a clue?
Who are these degenerates that you've got on your commercial? Like, why do you think that that's going to inspire me to drink your shitty coffee? You complete fuck up.
All right, 2 holes to go. 17th, par 4, 320.
This is funny. This is me talking myself into exactly what I didn't want to happen. This is fun.
Probably playing more like 3 because we are on 4 tee boxes today. I can reach this one. Usually. Although today it seems like a little bit of a mystery, this club. The idea here is to get one hoisted up and over these trees. I mean, if you're playing a draw, to play a draw into trees is kind of ridiculous. But I can't, you saw what happened when I tried to play the fade on 15.
So here's like a good example of what I was saying before. Like, where am I going to set up on this tee box because of this hole? The right side of this hole is completely cut off because it's lined with trees. And the box is on the right side of the tee, right? Like the tee box is over to the right-hand side. If you look to the left, all that room over there. I mean, I can miss long over that bunker. I can miss left of the bunker. I can go, there's all this room. So I should be setting up on the right-hand side of this tee box so that I open up the rest of this hole, right? All that area over here. Oh, no, you can't see it. Sorry. Over here. So this bunker, this area, look how much space there is out there. This here, where this tree is, this where my cursor is, that's actually a ditch. So, and I can reach that ditch, so I can't go too far left. But anywhere over here, right? So I make a big mistake setting up on the left-hand side. I should be set up on the right-hand side and let the ball start left and fade back into the hole. Because I'm a moron, I decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up on the left-hand side, and I'm going to hoist one up over these trees and land it, try to draw it in and land it on that green somewhere over there. And then you'll see exactly what happens.
So, normally you can kind of scoop one here, but I'm just going to try to play one right down the right-hand side. We're going to try to get on this thing in one. That's the plan, anyway. Gotta wait for the green to clear. Here's an interesting, what do you do? What do you do when you know you can reach the green in one? So you wait for it to clear, but as you wait for it to clear, the groups coming off the holes behind you are now waiting on deck, and you got a bit of a gallery growing, and they're trying to figure out what your plan is, because they don't know how far you hit it. And the right thing to do is to wait, but you also have these very impatient people behind you, and puts a lot of pressure on the shot. But what would you do in that circumstance? Do you wait? Do you go anyways? Do you club down and lay up? I usually just wait for the green to clear and oh well for the people behind me. I know that's a little bit harsh, but...
So this is like a situation that I find myself in a lot because I'm trying to go at this green in one. So I got driver in my hands. There are people on the green putting out. The people that are on the hole behind me have putted out and now they're waiting at the tee box. And they're wondering why I haven't gone yet. Right? Because they don't know what I'm about. They don't know what I do, right? So they're wondering why I haven't gone. They're like, the whole fairway is open. People are on the green. You still haven't gone yet? And this happens to me a lot where now I've got people waiting on me to go and they're like impatient, trying to be, they're like, you know, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are you waiting so long? Yeah, I find myself in this situation a lot. And it's difficult because you're not really sure of yourself in the moment.
The group in front of us, they're putting out right now. The group behind me, they're just coming off the green right now. So we're about to get into the situation that I'm speaking about. I mean, the worst thing is that you wait. You got two groups behind you. You're on deck. You got driver in your hand. Everyone wants to know what you're thinking. And then you go banana hook one off into the, into some part of the course that no one's ever seen. It's embarrassing, but again, there's a right way and a wrong way. We're just trying to do things half right, at least. All right, they're blocking off the green. Got to wait from the clear to the other side because the 18th tee box is kind of in the banana slice area. Don't know if you can see way out there. We've got a yellow flag, which means this is every bit of 330, maybe a little bit less. So we're gonna have to get this one to go if it has any chance.
So then I do exactly what I was talking about. What can happen is exactly what happened. I absolutely blocked this thing off maybe 100 yards right of the target. So like, here's the target. I'm aimed here. I mean, I'm trying to start the ball over this tree right here and let it come back in. I start the ball over that tree and it proceeds to double cross me and block out to over this way. That's where the ball ends up. On the 18th tee box is exactly where it ends up. I mean, look where this ball goes. Just look where it goes. And it never comes back. It went that way. It went that way. Straight up over those trees, gone to the right.
Well, that wasn't what I wanted.
No, that wasn't what I wanted at all.
What were we talking about? Pressure?
Yeah. Squid Games.
Well, unfortunately, I talked myself into exactly what I said I try not to do, is block one out. I don't know. I mean, it's generous to call that a block. That's about 100 yards. Yeah, maybe 100. Yeah, a good 100 off to the right. I mean, worse. That's the worst one of the day. That one I did not get away with. I actually put that on the 18th tee box from the tips. Luckily, the tips are closed today, so there was nobody standing there. Nevertheless, that was horrifying. And I've been over here before. The good news is I've been over here before, and I know how to get up and down from here. It's a wedge. So let's try to get this one nice and neat. Gotta go up and over these trees here. Won't be a problem. This distance controls everything. Well, that's pretty fancy. That's pretty fancy. I think we're nice and we got a putt at least. And we're still putting for a bird. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? I bet you don't. I'm so far off to the wrong side of this hole.
So like, just to give you just so you can see how far I missed. This is the 18th tee box, right? That's the fucking sign for the 18. So I am a good 20 yards right of the sign for the 18th. I mean, I missed the whole golf course on that shot, basically.
So far off to the wrong side of this hole. Not the way. I'm so far off to the right side of this hole that the group behind me has teed off thinking that I'm done. Well, that's really embarrassing. Because now I'm walking back into the proper fairway. That's lovely. But what is that classy shot. What is not embarrassing is this classy little piece of work here. I mean, I still got a bit of work, but that's a putt for birdie. And from where I was, I'll take that. I will take that. Let's try to make a bird here. That's a dirty birdie. That's a dirty bird if I ever seen one. You're not supposed to make birds from over there on the other side of the golf course. But we did. And that's just a lesson in you're never dead until you're absolutely dead.
Is HelloFresh worth the price?
Bro, I need to fucking change the settings on these commercials, man. How many goddamn advertisements are you gonna play on one golf video, for crying out loud?
That's a 3 on the card, boys and girls. We are on the final hole. This is the 18th. This hole is usually a beast. It's like 609 from the tips. But
633 actually from the tips. It's a fucking monster hole. I mean, most PGA Tour events don't have 630-yard par 5s. This thing is fucked. It's so long. Luckily, in the wintertime, they have it's not great. It's not very far. Actually, sometimes they put the temporary tee boxes, like I think here they have them in the middle of the fairway. Also, they were doing some work to this like little area here throughout last season, but when they have the tee boxes in the middle of the fairway, I can't remember which ones. It might have been the ones in front. Anyways, I can almost reach this thing. I've reached the front fringe, and it's an elevated green too, but yeah.
they are doing some
This hole's a beast, like absolute beast.
groundwork, and there was construction just over there. And I have a feeling they were getting peppered. So
like when you play the 18th from the tips, this area that I'm standing in is basically where your drive lands if you hit a good one. Like if I crack a good one from the blues, where this little path is, like this tree, you don't want to end up on the right in here. You can end up in here and you're fucking dead. So you want to be somewhere here. If I crack a good one, I'll end up next to this tree. So imagine half the hole. We're starting like half the hole already done, kind of thing.
They move the tee boxes up to these temps. We're sort of in the middle of the fairway. I mean, the beginning of the fairway. So we're about 480-ish. This club has plagued me all day long. I've managed to somehow only be +1 with the help of that dirty bird back there. I'm +1 going into a short par 5. Should be able to make one back here. And if we end up with an even back 9, that's not bad. That's not bad for the first attempt film or something out here. So let's put a good swing on this one if I can. Oh my God. Just please, you know? Please. It's just one that I need. You've drop kicked everything today. I just need one. I just need one. I just need one. If there was ever a time for a solid strike of the ball with this club, which I'm normally usually good with this. Normally, I just swing as hard as I possibly can and it works out. I don't know why it's gone wrong. Can't figure it out. Anyway.
Here's another example of, well, for one, I'm trying to hit at this point last year, I had gotten so used to hitting like a slap cut. Like I was hitting these just slap cuts. And I had gotten so used to hitting a fade that I was like, I need to start hitting draws because otherwise I'm going to get too used to hitting this fade and it's going to cause issues. So at this point, I'm starting to try to hit a draw. But here's another example of my ball should be teed up here. And I should be cutting a ball starting here that ends up here. For me, trying to hit a draw into, like, basically into that tree to get it, and there's also a pond right here, it just makes no sense. But I'm trying to get away from hitting that slap cut, which is why I did it. I hit a laser beam.
She listened. She gave me one. She gave me one. So here's what we're looking at. There's the 150 marker that I was aimed at. As you can see, I mean, we were on the line. If there was a line painted to that thing, we're on it. We're about 20 yards short of it. The group ahead of us, the lady was standing next to the 150 marker. So that's too close. That's too close, and that's my fault for not waiting. I mean, it's not bouncing forward, so we're not running it into their heels, but I can tell you, if it was me up there and someone put one that close to me, I'd be watching out for it a second time. I mean, we're on the 18th, so we're done here, but that's too close. It's always better to be safe than sorry when it comes to golf balls and people. In my experience, anyways. Let's dust this ball off. We got about a buck 65.
Yeah. I basically landed that ball on the lady's heels because they were right next to that 150, and that's what, 15 yards short. So they probably, I mean, who knows if they're paying attention, but they probably heard that hit the ground. That's fucking too close.
170-ish, but it's uphill.
Also, you can see up here, these two eagles' nests. There's two ginormous eagles that live on this golf course. One almost got snatched by that coyote, but yeah, that's their home.
Uphill. So I'm gonna need an extra club together. I got a 6-iron, should be plenty. Yeah, definitely got a 6-iron, should be plenty. Just want to put a good stroke on this one. Always tricky, that last full swing of the day. Sort of an accumulation of everything you've done for 18 holes, and it all comes down to this final swing. And there's pressure not to cock it up, that's for sure. Considering that I just put one within an earshot of the lady in front of us, I'm gonna wait for that. I'm gonna wait for them to be nowhere near this green before I go. Just in case. Tug one. All right. We just barely snuck on. And I mean barely. I was worried about having to hit a bunker shot in front of it. Like I said, you don't want to end up in that. That thing like...
Bunker looked like a bomb went off in it.
But we cleared it. We got on. We're on in 2. We're looking at an eagle putt.
I mean, I don't know what the fuck I was doing there.
Oh.
That's an uphill putt, maybe like a 30-footer for eagle, and like I'm trying to give it some jam because I don't want to. You don't want to be short on an eagle putt. Like you definitely don't want to do that. But I rammed this thing maybe 10 feet past the hole, and it's an uphill. It's an uphill putt. So, I mean, I don't know what I was doing. I got excited.
Well, that's awful. And that's golf. That's golf. Because instead of having an easy birdie, now I may not even get out of here with a par. Because this is now downhill. Oh, this is awful. This is awful. I just missed it. Just missed it.
Just rammed it past the hole.
Well, that's a 5. That's unfortunate. That should really be a 4. So, +1 on the back 9. I'm happy with that. I'm proud of that. That's the first 9 that I've filmed, and I'm okay with that.
Well, that's fun. Now I really want to golf. And it's fucking snowing outside, so there you go. Oh, that took up a nice bit of time, hey? I haven't watched that in a long time. It was really fun. It's interesting to see the swing, like how much my swing has changed in just one season. I was chipping back then. I was chipping with a really wide stance. I got more of a narrow stance, and my swing path is completely different now. Yeah. Amazing. Now I just need to go play some fucking golf. I wonder what the first score I'm going to shoot in 2022 is going to be. You know, oh, what happened there? You know, I wonder what the first score I'll shoot in 2022 is. Hopefully it's in the 70s. That's all I care is that it has a 7 in front of it. That's all I care. I got a blanket on today. Actually, I've not been wearing hoodies the last couple days. Oh, man. Well, should I put my favorite song on to end this fucking thing? Let's do it. Thank you for hanging out with your boy, Northwoods. Kilowatt. You couldn't see it because I had just the little small screen. That's why. I was like this the whole time. You can't really tell in that one. Kilowatt, Northwoods, the OG motherfuckers, Victor Larson, Christy Lynn, Jorge was in here, I think, earlier. Jorge was in here earlier. All right, boys. We will see you tonight. I didn't do a stream last night, so maybe I'll do one tonight. We'll do it. We'll do it tonight. We'll do it tonight.
Oh, Let's Go Brandon. Yeah, we should throw in Let's Go Brandon tonight, hey? It's been a while. You know, let me just say this quickly. Something that was kind of disappointing with Let's Go Brandon was the artist. After Let's Go Brandon, the artist got into like a beef with some other guy that did a Brandon song. And he was putting out this stuff on YouTube about like the situation that was going on. And he seemed like such a little bitch. And it kind of made me... I still think the song is a banger. Like, it doesn't change the song. But, yeah. I don't know. Not super impressed with the actual artist. But whatever, who cares? People make mistakes. All right, people. Peace out, fam. We'll see you tonight, y'all.
botella para arriba. Siempre la móvil la tenemos prendida. Vamos a darle hasta que se haga de día. Sigo rolito que es la mía. Salió el sol, un gol. Prime la boca y el alcohol. Impréndelo, un gol. Esto se salió de control. Y síguelo. Pepa y agua para la seca. Todo el mundo en patilla. tower.